Okay, it is 6:01. I'm calling to order this October 29th meeting of the Windsor Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee. Would you like to read the mission statement?
Sure. We dedicate ourselves to uplifting the voices of those most impacted by inequities, seeking justice for those adversely affected by systemic racism, bias, and oppression, and constructing intentional policy towards social equity in town government and its institutions. We strive to foster a welcoming, diverse community where all people can thrive.
Thank you, Britt. Let's go around and do a little intro of members. Starting with Karen.
So I'm Karen Lipinzik, the community liaison. My pronouns are she, hers.
I'm Mara Hershey. I'm the chair. Pronouns are she and her.
And Britt Mativier, secretary, she, her.
And Emma.
I'm Emma Caffrey, and I am on the Windsor Select Board, and I am the liaison to the JEDI Committee.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We're going to start with our rules of participation. At the beginning and end of each meeting, there are times for individuals to speak on items not on the agenda. As we work our way through, there will be further opportunities for the public to weigh in on each topic after the committee has had a chance to discuss. To participate during public comments virtually, raise your hand and wait to be called on. If you're in the room, please raise your hand and wait to be called on. Come up to the table and state your name for the record. And we respectfully ask comments to be brief if possible in order to move the meeting along in a timely manner. We have a few announcements. Next Windsor Community Dinners will be November 7th and December 5th, hosted by the Windsor High School Alumni Association team. Free in-person event. Next Veggie Van Gogh is November 12th and December 10th, 10 to 11 at the Goodyear parking lot. And the last thing is Roger Barabee is now in charge of compiling the town newsletter and can be contacted at newsletter@windsorvermont.org. So that's really nice. Moving to the next, do we have any amendments to tonight's agenda? Seeing no amendments to tonight's agenda, so moving on, let's approve the minutes of July 25th. If you see September on there, strike that because we decided we didn't have a quorum, so we decided not to enter those minutes. So we have nothing to vote on. So looking at July 25th, do we have a move to approve those minutes? You're gonna move?
Also move that.
Thank you. I will second. And any discussion? No. And let's vote on approving the July 25th minutes. So Karen?
Aye.
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 Great. Moving to the next. Public comments. So this is for items not on the agenda. Does anyone have any comments, members of the public, for anything not on the agenda that you would like to discuss or bring forward? No? Cool. Up next, I have our select board liaison report, which we finally added to this agenda. So I don't know, Emma, if you had anything you need to report from the select board that you thought would be relevant?
I do. There has been a concerted effort by Jeffrey Johnson, our select board chair, to make sure that the select board is doing their part to be in conversation with our legislators and see what we can do about some of the things that our citizens are concerned about. And just in my personal kind of polling of people I know, and I don't want to say the word constituents because that feels very hoity-toity, but just talking to people, I've said like, hey, what do you want to communicate? And most of it is affordability for housing and just how do we make Vermont more affordable for people that are living here primarily? And that's what we are trying to address. And I'm trying to wrap my head around and be more communicative with them about housing and what we can do to make that more feasible. I need to reach out and be able to connect with Elizabeth Burrows, who has been lovely and very, very open to me being able to communicate to her. But I'm trying to track down time that I have to meet up with her. But that kind of leads in a little bit to the survey, where I'm excited to see what comes from the survey when we're able to get that out and see what people want from JEDI. They did in the last meeting ask. Paul Woodman was like, why do y'all want to do a survey? And I was like, because that's JEDI's job, is to find out what people need and find out
Did
what
you
they want
say
from
the
us.
select board was asking that?
I don't know if it was like the entire select board as much as Paul specifically, just kind of wondering what, and I'm sorry if I'm misremembering how that went down, but just kind of saying, why do y'all want to do a survey? And I was like, well, because we exist, and because that's the job, is to make sure we are communicating to the select board and acting as the JEDI committee to fix what we need to fix in town. If that makes sense. And I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Totally. No.
Yeah. And so that's, I think that is what I would like to report from the select board.
Great.
Thanks.
Good. Yeah, it's really helpful to have that.
All right. Kiss, kiss.
Back to the old business, speaking of the JEDI survey, I managed to narrow it down to 10
You
questions
did a great job.
and 3 open-ended questions. In what areas do you feel Windsor can improve when it comes to fostering a more inclusive and equitable environment? What specific actions or initiatives would you like to see from the town of Windsor to promote justice and equity for all residents? What types of events, programs, or resources would make you feel more included and valued in the Windsor community? And then the 10 other questions are, yes, no, gender, age, that kind of stuff. So, but I have this in our shared area, and I was wondering if I could task you, Britt, with finding a platform to put this on and then getting it into the newsletter, because I think this will really inform our 2025 goals moving forward.
Yeah.
And it would just be good to have like a little bit of information before we dive in next year, probably in like after the holiday craziness, February or March. So
Were we gonna check with the town to see?
yeah,
What
do you
they
think
have.
we should bring this forward to the bring it forward to the select board to look at
Maybe.
first? Okay.
Yeah.
That
And then
might
if they
be-
they might have a platform too that we can
Okay.
use.
Oh, asking the town if they have a platform?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm wondering if maybe we could, when we bring, if we bring Amy and Griffin forward, which I'm sure we will, if we want to put that on the same
Okay.
meeting and
Yeah.
just try to be there to bring this forward and ask if they have any platforms they recommend or something like that, because they have the budget survey.
Can I just ask about protocol? So is it best? Like, are we getting permission to do this or?
I think we can do, I think we're just asking for, is there, like, since I think Tom sort of handles the budget survey, like if he had any idea about, and maybe that's, I don't know if that's something we can discuss privately or if it has to be brought forward to the select board,
That seems like.
Because I'm not
just
asking permission. This is something that we can do regardless of,
Maybe just asking Tom if there's
yeah.
something we can use. or-
Well, do you want to, you have that conversation with Tom, and if he feels, see what he says about it. Because ultimately, it would be nice to have this in the newsletter and places
Yeah.
online and physical copies places as well. So,
Okay.
but I will pass this off to you. And also, it's in our shared area.
If we have physical copies, is there like, would we put a box somewhere for people to turn them in? I forget how the town survey does.
Would downstairs in the lobby,
Lobby,
you just have like a small thing.
Mhm.
A Dropbox, yeah.
Put it in there.
Or could they put it just in, that's like a general Dropbox outside the building where you put
Yeah, no, that does seem like it
Yeah,
would
I
need
think that's
permission.
different, the ballot thing. I was just thinking if you just had a regular
Yeah,
box
no
and
kidding.
just, if someone had a paper one, put it in the box.
Mhm.
And thinking this can't.
I feel like this is a hard thing for the average citizen to get their head around.
Mhm.
Those of us who talk about these kind of issues regularly, not so much, and certainly a section of the community, I think, would be glad. But it does seem like it's a little, that it's a big ask really for folks who maybe aren't engaged. And so the best we can do is the best we can do, and I would love us to do the best we
Yeah,
can do.
totally. Did you have something, Emma?
Yes. I was gonna say just I would be absolutely more than willing. I'll print out some copies of it and see if I can just track down the people I know in person and just like word of mouth it.
Yep.
I think I think maybe just for the people in JEDI and like I know just because I agree with you, Karen, and I think that that's like that's half actually 3/4 of the issue with a lot of stuff in local government that I've learned in the last little bit that I've been involved with. It's just very difficult to get to track people down and nail people down. And that's actually very funny. Somebody asked me a question about a program at the place I work today, and I was just like, I don't have time to do that. I wish I could do that. I don't have time to do that. But thank you.
Yeah,
And I
I think
feel like-
people, I was gonna say people asking their networks will also be, you know,
Yeah.
but it's how do we reach beyond like people in our bubble,
Just
you
the
know?
people- Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But I will definitely print out some copies and trace down
Yep.
my people I know.
That'd be good for all of us, for sure.
Did you have something, Mary?
Yeah, when did you want to try to get this up? Because I'm just thinking, with holidays come up.
Yeah.
The town survey is going out, and that's going to be linked for, I think he said, mid-November, I think.
Mhm.
Emma, you can quote me to right before the holidays in December, so people will be doing that. and
Traveling.
Before you know it, it'll be budget season and stuff, so it's like, or, do you want to wait further? I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there because these months go by pretty darn
They do.
fast.
I think January or February would be a good goal, just so we have something for the beginning of the year that we can
Yep.
work with.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes more sense.
Yeah. I honestly don't foresee us getting this figured out like before the end of the year.
Right.
So, especially with like Thanksgiving and Christmas and travel and,
Will we send it to the school?
that would be great. Yes.
Maybe community health at the hospital?
Mhm.
I know Kelly would be into getting people to do it.
Yeah,
The library is always glad to have surveys there.
definitely.
Maybe at the food pantry
Yeah, I mean.
and the community
certainly
dinner.
drop anything off of you.
The resource center.
Give me some of them and I'll,
Sure.
when I'm there for community dinner, put them
Yep, perfect.
out.
Yep.
Businesses?
I'm not sure about, do you think that would be
What was that one?
businesses, like local businesses?
What about a poster with a QR code that links you there?
Yeah, I think you mentioned that last time too. I had that
Yes.
written down.
Because a lot of people do links.
Anymore.
Yeah, all good ideas, and we can continue,
Perfect.
talking about that via email, the sort of logistical things involved with that, as long as we're sort of happy with how the survey ended up. Cool.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, okay, discussion item. And the action item, I don't know. We're talking about the Trans Day of Remembrance Vigil. I got a lot of research done here, so, I know Karen is going to be our candle finder. You're gonna ask your
Church
your
folk.
church contacts, and I was thinking those little mini
Yep.
candles with a little, boop. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the ones.
Yeah,
Really
the
inexpensive.
Christmas Eve one. But if we can get them, like,
And donation is,
Donate.
yeah.
They really are very inexpensive.
yeah, they are. Oh, I thought you said expensive. No, they're not.
It's
Right.
overdose awareness month.
Sure.
The ISM group, I spoke with Amanda Jordan-Smith, who has planned the vigil in the past. She was really in support of
That's
JEDI
great.
taking this on
That's
because
great.
she thought it would be meaningful coming from a committee associated with the town.
That's great.
So I feel good about like moving forward with this and not like stepping on any toes. And she passed on the contact of Brianna McConnell, who's associated with Rural Outright.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I know Brianna.
cool, yeah.
I do.
And I asked if she had any contacts who might be interested in speaking, and she gave me a few names.
Brianna did?
Yes, so we have Josh Lambert, who I'm going to reach out to tonight. And she said I can send an intro email, so I'll just deal with all this tonight. But we have some names, so that's
Okay.
good. And then there was someone named Kevin who also spoke at Rural Outright's Candlelight Vigil in the past. So, and then I was speaking to an old Derby friend of mine who might be interested as well. So she has done Trans Day of Remembrance vigils and also spoke at the Women's March in 2016 in Concord. So very good speaker, very like just poised and just a great person to have. I think, so we're on the right path with speakers, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Here's the problem, we need an MC.
I could do MC.
You feel good about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so
Do you want me to find the sound stuff too?
the town has sound stuff.
Okay.
So at the rec center, they have a microphone and an amplifier.
Mhm.
If you could take that on, I would
Yep.
love that so much.
Yep.
So,
I love the flyer.
yeah.
The
So
flyer
that's,
looks beautiful.
there was that. What was the other thing? What was I thinking?
6 to 6:30?
Yeah, so I put 6 to 7 and then you said half an hour should be sufficient. So I put 6 to 6:30. So it's just very simple, very, it'll catch people's eye, I guess. So, I figure if we are happy with this, it just says join Windsor's Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee for a Candlelight Vigil in recognition of Transgender Day of Remembrance. Transgender Day of Remembrance is an annual observance that honors the memory of the people whose lives were lost in acts of anti-transgender violence. Then I have Wednesday, November 20th, 6 to 6:30, Windsor Green, Windsor, Vermont. My question is, does the Windsor Green have an address? Do we know?
That's a great
Or
question.
do people just, because I tried to Google map it.
Across from the library?
Yeah, the big green thing.
State Street, corner of Court and State, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
If you say Windsor Green State Street, that,
Or the Windsor Common, I think I
Oh,
have
they-
put
Windsor
Wood
Common.
Street at times when I've used like the Windsor Common or something.
Okay,
I don't know if that's helpful, but
I'll tweak it and at least put a street name, I think would be smart.
yeah,
Okay.
if people see some people there,
Yeah.
they'll know it's the right place.
I did ask if Rural Outright would be interested in tabling at the event, and Brianna said theoretically, we'd love to have a table, but I'm not sure we have the staffing.
Staff,
Let me
always
ask my
have trouble.
team and see if any of them are available. So, I was gonna, go for
Found
it.
the address.
39 State Street?
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. I will fix that. And then,
I'd be happy to put up posters. for
yeah, let's go for a little walkabout and do some postering.
If you don't have, I'm really fine doing it by myself. You don't have time, so don't feel.
Okay. The other thing was, okay, so I can, since you are taking on the very sort of stressful duty of being MC, Karen, I was wondering I can absolutely compile the names. Advocate does have a list of the names and, you know, the kind of people they were, their interests, like just a little sentence or two about that as we read the names. So I can compile those for you and send them to you. And otherwise it's just like introducing speakers, introducing the day and saying for people who might not know like what it is. And I think that would be awesome because you're a good public speaker and I say a lot. So I write that down. Other thought, should we incorporate a fundraiser, like just having a place for people to drop? As I was thinking, Transgender Law Center is very good. I donated money to them before. Trevor Project is really good. It's where, you know, we get all those statistics and information. Anti-Violence Project. Yes.
If you do that, say you had a basket out.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
collect money, people might say, not everybody has cash anymore. So
Yeah.
how do you transfer that money? What are they making it out to if they even
That's
want
a
to
great
do a
one.
check? Where's it go to so that you can bring it to where you want it to go? That
Yeah.
would be an issue.
So maybe
Venmo thing or
maybe
something.
a sheet with those kinds of places listed.
Yeah.
So we stay free of that,
Okay.
but folks who might not know might write a check,
Okay.
whatever.
Even like QR codes of different
Yeah.
ways to donate.
Do you think you would be able to compile something like that, Britt?
Uh-huh.
That would be great. And it does depend, like, because if rural outright tables, they
Sure.
have a lot of that information.
Right.
So.
Oh, maybe we
we'll
can just get it from them.
see. Yeah, they come with a lot of resources.
For
and,
sure.
But yeah, let's see how that turns out.
Maybe you could announce it like when you're up at the podium
Mm-hmm.
and then say, and then if there is a table there, you could say there's information on the
Mm-hmm.
table if you want it.
Mm,
Something
so
like that.
more information, support,
Right. Because I think the money thing, you have no account.
right, I don't want to get there. Until we have a budget and some way to do all of
Right.
that.
So,
Speaking of, it would be nice to include a stipend, a small stipend for the speakers, just for like gas money, even if it's like 25, $30 for like, you know, grabbing dinner and getting gas to get there. I'm wondering if, you know, we can approach, sort of like we did for our
Joe.
other event, if we could, what do we think, you know, a good amount would be
What do we?
for a speaker?
So we had, you know, fairly significant was it $200 or whatever for Joe, but I
It has an
agree with
hour,
you.
An hour
Yeah,
long.
it's like a PowerPoint and everything.
Yeah, so 25 seems like a thank you for coming and at least they're not losing money.
Yeah, yeah.
And do we know 3 speakers or 4? We don't know yet what we're asking.
I think 3 is the names that I have right now, but we don't know yet, so that would be.
Are
about
any of them
$75.
students? Do you know?
No, that is a good.
Because I do know a mom of 2 trans kids over in Claremont. And so I think her son is wanting to be more public.
Okay.
So I thought I would just talk to her and I don't know how I don't know how professional or how, but it would be pretty moving.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I think just giving a platform is like the most important part of
Right.
this. I don't really care if they're like the
Right.
most professional speaker in the world.
Right.
It's just,
all right.
I think, yeah, putting it out there and seeing what they say, I would love it if you could reach out,
Okay.
especially to a younger person, a student would be good.
All right. And then I'll be back in touch with you and who's going to ask, would Emma ask the select board for $75 or $100 if?
Are
Did you
we-
catch?
I think my only question would be, I don't know if we ask the select board or if we just say,
Got it. Tom? Mhm.
but, well, because that's my question is I apologize if I'm misremembering, but did y'all ask the select board for the money for Joe or did it just?
We didn't bring it forward to the
That's-
select board
not
officially. Yeah.
It
Well,
wasn't a-
this is a lower amount than you did for Joe, so I feel like it's legitimate to just say, Tom,
Right.
can we make this work, and then just do it that way, and
Yeah.
you're done.
Yep.
Perfect.
There is a precedent in that situation, so I think we should go for it that way and just say, hey, Tom, and I'm happy to reach out and I can CC you, Mara.
That would be awesome. And
Yeah.
I can provide the names when we get them.
Great.
Yes, please.
Because the town wrote a check for Joe.
So they can just do bam, bam, bam. And
Yep.
it's 3 or 4, even if.
Yep, 3 or 4 speakers. We're thinking about $25. So
I think that's legit and I think that's lovely. And I think there's a precedent for it. So if there's any issues, that wouldn't make any sense and we can talk about it then.
great.
Bam.
Bam.
Done.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm really.
Plans might have some more resources for speakers. I know the Pride event that was on the green a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
she had a couple of young people.
She did say she would ask her network too, so I will ask her specifically about youth, because I don't know if the Queer Connections group at the high school is still active, but we
It
can,
is.
Is
okay,
it?
we can see if anyone would be interested, and I can get their contact as well.
The woman who runs the GSA group up there right now is Mary Richter.
Okay.
Send you her email.
Oh my God, I would love that. Thank you.
She's taking a group of students in November up to Outright's GSA like conference thing. So
Okay.
that's the only reason I know that is because I didn't know that recently.
My daughter's going to that.
I think mine is too.
Oh, nice.
So since it feels like we've got some momentum here, I think we can go ahead with making a Facebook event. And I'll fix the poster and put that on there, and I can take care of making the Facebook event. Cool, and I'll just, as things unfold, feel free to like call me, email me. We don't need to necessarily meet in person to discuss logistical things for this event. So I really, you have to stay in touch as we get these things done. Just to make sure, it seems like it's like a small enough event that we can do it in the next 25 days. It'll be fine.
I think so too.
Great. So anyone
is
have
great.
anything else that comes to mind about this while we're here together? No? Cool. Yeah, I think we have quite the to-do list, so I hope you got all that. Okay, so new business. This is the fun part. We're gonna do our new member interviews. So how I'm thinking we should do this is just hold the interviews and then vote after the interviews for each person, if that makes sense. So would we like, let's start with Griffin, if that's okay? Would you like to come up to the hot seat?
I was thinking we should actually.
We're rough, we're tough, man.
Yes, yes. So as you come up here, go ahead and say your name and pronouns for the record.
Griffin Bino, he, him.
So I sent you a little preview of the questions, but we'll just run through them real quick. And I sent I believe the JEDI resolution and charge, the mission, vision, values. And so hopefully that gave you a little bit of like insight into what we do. But just tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship to Windsor or the surrounding area.
All right. I've lived here my entire life with my dad. I go to Windsor School right now, currently a freshman. A little bit about myself. I am dedicated to schoolwork and looking for a job at the moment. I am dedicated to what I'm interested in, and I definitely work hard for what I'm a part of. So anything during school, if I'm part of a group, and this I would definitely work towards because I'm quite interested.
That's awesome. And what other extracurriculars do you do at school?
Extracurriculars,
Anything like outside of like sports or clubs or anything like that?
outside of sports and clubs.
Oh, no, I mean like outside of school, like after hours or stuff like that.
I usually play baseball, soccer. Didn't quite get the chance to get soccer in this year just due to some planning issues, but definitely gonna do baseball. It's not really an extracurricular, but I'm in 2 honors classes at the moment.
Oh, awesome. Wow.
Maybe an extracurricular, they're like, homework.
So.
I know, I was about to say, that is the definition of an extracurricular.
Yeah.
Definitely more.
And what made you interested in reaching out and joining JEDI?
So I really want to get more invested into the community of Windsor. I mean, I've lived here my entire life, but I've never really been really too much involved in stuff that goes around and events, committees.
Mhm.
So I really want to put myself in, like, back into the town.
Mhm.
They gave so much to me growing up. I want to give back.
Yeah. And I will say, I feel like being on a committee is like, it really helps with sort of learning how things work, especially in like your local government. It's a really good insight and I literally didn't know how anything worked until I joined this like 2 years ago. So yeah, seeing like all the processes, it just primes you to sort of understand, I think, a lot more. What sort of life or career experience do you have that you think might help JEDI in its mission?
Career in life? Not much
In the
for
career.
Not much for career.
14.
15 at the moment. Birthday a little bit ago. Oh, but I have a lot of close friends who are involved with, I don't know how to word it, but I have friends of multiple different sexuality groups and identities, so I could definitely be a representative for them. And you know, if they give me an idea that, or I don't know if issue is the right word, but a concern
Mhm.
that they have, they can bring it to me. I could bring it up at the meetings and definitely get that look towards.
And maybe it ties into this next question. What kind of issues would you like to see addressed in Windsor in regard to justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion?
So last year, there was a lot of hate towards colored people around the schools, you know, rude words being written in public places. So I don't know exactly, I don't have an exact idea of what we could do to address that, but it's definitely a concern that I have seeing.
And are there any questions that you have for us or anything we should have asked but didn't?
Let's see. So you sent me the emails about the roles and the MVV. Not saying myself, but I would like, for future reference, you just like really make sure that people understand what they're committing to, like they know their role, what they're gonna be doing as part of the committee.
Yep. As a student representative, I would say that you would sit up here with us. It would be a non-voting role, and it's definitely like advisory, but obviously your opinion would be considered and weighed. And then I would say, as far as time commitment goes, there's our monthly meeting. Very occasionally, we might have a special meeting, which usually lasts, about an hour. But for the most part, our meetings don't tend to go longer than like 45 minutes to an hour. And any, sort of tasks that are assigned, which it tends to be pretty, on the lighter side, depending on what we're working on. So I think as far as time commitment goes, like that's what you can expect, is maybe hour or two a month, maybe writing emails or, attending meetings or any, like putting up posters, something like that. So, yeah, totally. So I think, as we learn your skills and like get to know you, we can kind of decide where you would like fit in as far as tasks go. But yeah, that's kind of what the student representative role entails. So yeah, let me know if anything else comes up that you think of and just, yeah, send me.
I was curious if you spent much time at the rec center here in town coming up. Were you involved there at all? I mean, that's not a judgment either way. I just know that a lot of kids are, and I just wondered.
As I've become older, I haven't done as much with the rec,
Sure.
but when I was younger, I did summer camp
Did
pretty
ya?
much every year. I got to, be involved with some of the people that worked there.
Which is really maybe part of what I was asking. When I saw the numbers of kids walking around town with the summer program, it's pretty impressive how careful it feels like the town tries to be, especially around those younger kids in the summer.
Cool. Well, thank you. It's
Yeah.
like nice to hear from you and
Totally.
I think looking forward to
Totally.
voting on this. So cool. Thank you very
Totally.
much. Moving on to Amy. If you could come up and give your name and pronouns for the record.
My name is Amy Vickers, she, her pronouns. And I wrote most of this while I was homesick this week, so if I start reading it and it makes no sense.
So same thing. Just give us a little bit of info about yourself and your relationship to the area.
Okay, I moved to Windsor a little over 2 years ago with my three kids. My three kids are all in school here, in middle school and high school now. I moved here to live with my partner. We've been together for 10 years and she's a not lifelong, but long-term Windsor resident. And she is a teacher and a DEI coach in Heartland.
Uh-huh.
I work at Connecticut Valley Addiction Recovery. I'm the office manager there, but I'm a nurse and I'm also in recovery myself. So that's something I'm really passionate about in this community. I really love Windsor. It's a quaint little town that I think has a lot to offer, and I love being surrounded by all the natural beauty.
Awesome. And what made you interested in joining JEDI?
I've never I thought about this a lot. So I've never lived and worked in the same town I've never lived and worked in the same town since moving to Vermont 20 years ago. Like everything's
wow.
also spread out, And since moving here, like seeing the same people that I see at work, at the store,
Right.
last night, and like just walking around my neighborhood,
Yeah.
has given me a real like sense of community and belonging that I don't think I ever had before. And I grew up in a big city, and especially, and I know that anyway, I won't digress, but what really sticks out in my mind is this June 1st, I remember driving back into town, I think it was like a Sunday, and all of a sudden there were like freaking rainbow flags everywhere. And I was like, it really warmed my heart and I was so happy. And I know that didn't happen overnight, that was not like how it's always been here, and even in the couple of years that I've lived here. And that really made me hopeful. And I know that progress is sometimes made in big leaps, but more often in little everyday acts of kindness and dialogue and visibility. And I really want to make sure that my little acts contribute to JEDI's goal of making Windsor a place where what makes us different is not just tolerated, accepted, or even welcomed, but celebrated.
Yeah.
We have
great.
heard from people that like our existence in itself shows that the town even cares at all to have a committee like us to think about these things and like approach these issues. And I think that is also like really important, and people feel supported in that way and know that there's a place that they can go and talk about stuff like that. But you touched on this a little bit, but what life or career experience do you have that might help JEDI in this mission?
So I had experience with working in healthcare, and substance use treatment, having kids in the school system. 2 of the 3 of my kids identify as queer. And just my own life as a gay woman coming out in the 90s in the Midwest.
What part of the Midwest?
I'm from Nebraska.
Oh, okay. I'm from Indiana, which is Midwest technically.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm from Illinois.
So what kind of issues would you like to see addressed in Windsor in regard to justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion?
I wrote something completely different, but as I was thinking about it, I think working in the field that I'm working in now with substance use treatment, which Windsor certainly has its fair share of, like every town in America. And I've just seen so much misinformation and vitriol. I mean, mostly on social media, which you say misinformation and vitriol about everything. But in the community, especially a complete like misunderstanding from both sides about like what is happening, and how to address it. And I think it's really important to remember that these are still our neighbors and our family and our friends, even, and sometimes we don't know that they are. And so I would love to continue to work on bridging that gap and educating and finding people help. I mean, because that's kind of what I do at work anyway.
That's awesome. And final question, are there any questions you have for us or anything that you'd like to share?
No, I don't think so. But one thing I did write down on the previous question that I forgot to mention was that I was really excited about Griffin potentially being a part of this too, because I think that a good working relationship with the school, because, you know, they've gone through some stuff in the last year or two that makes it clear that, you know, they have their own struggles with DEI issues, and you know, whether the JEDI can help them with that or not, but I'm just excited that there's some crossover and some.
And just hearing all different perspectives, you know, from all ages, and is just really going to be important moving forward, I think. But yeah, I think unless you have any further questions, if you, same thing, if you think of anything, feel free to shoot me an email. And
It's pretty exciting.
I'm very excited. Let's make a motion. I would like to make a motion to bring Griffin forward to the select board as a new member. And they're going to do candidate appointments. I'll ask them to add it to the next select board agenda. I'd like to make a motion for Griffin to be added.
I'd second that.
Right? Is there any discussion? Nada? Emma? Let's bring it to a vote. Want to start us off?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, Emma doesn't get to vote.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay,
It's easier when she's.
so, congrats, Griffin.
Yeah,
I will
welcome
bring you
on
forward to the
board.
select board. Then up next, I'd like to make a motion to bring Amy forward, to become a member, to the select board. Would anyone like to second this?
I'll
motion?
second that one too, man.
Do we have any discussion?
No, yay.
I'm excited. That's my discussion. Vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Yay. So it'll go to the select board and they will, in all likelihood, approve.
Yeah.
And so then would their terms start like the November meeting?
Hey, Mary. Do you know? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's in the middle. of
Right.
When you would have an appointment.
Right.
Yeah,
There's no reason to wait, but there's
There's some
vacancies.
openings.
Yeah.
So I would assume
Mhm.
maybe it would be one of those things, and I'm not sure, maybe it'd be one of those things, oh, say they get on it, like it gets all approved.
Right.
Then maybe in that May, April
Yep,
thing, they have to write a letter saying, I want to re-up.
Right,
I'm not
maybe
sure,
so,
maybe it's
right.
something like, so then the terms would be, you know,
Like-
consistent with the dates. or
Totally.
something, but I'm
That,
not-
that makes a lot of sense.
but
I think what I'm really asking is, can they come on board and bring us their energy right away?
Right,
Once they're
I-
approved and,
I think it might run.
Yeah, they're
that way,
both
but I
so,
don't
that-
know.
yeah, that really makes
'Cause we
sense
have
what
never
you
done it
said.
before.
vacant.
This is the first
There's a
time.
Yay,
we Have a couple more
He would be-
people.
Right? Long time, right, it's great.
Man, I'm very happy about that. So we'll discuss
Totally
it at the
happy.
select board meeting. I'm sure they'll have the dates about
Right.
that.
Very exciting,
So you know how long you're on.
very
Yeah.
grateful.
So should we come to the next select board meeting?
I will talk to Jeffrey, who's the chair of the select board, and we'll figure out when you can get on the agenda. You don't technically have to be there, but I think since we know who you are, we have your information, we can vouch for you and I can be there. But if you would like to be there, I think that would be nice so they could like see you and hear from you and give you like a little interview.
They make questions.
Yeah, they might have questions for you, so.
And it's another window into the community life you were both talking about.
And I'll be in touch about when they're gonna be able to slot you in, because I think they're dealing with a lot of end of year stuff as well. Yeah, so cool.
Yay,
Moving on to the
thank you,
next-
both of you for being interested.
Moving on to the next item. We have our annual report. I did email Riley today to know when like the final deadline would be, because I would like to fit in some of the stuff that we're doing in November into the annual report.
Sure.
So I want to see if we can do that stuff and then submit the report.
Perfect.
But yeah,
But it has to be in the right dates.
so it's November, isn't it?
It would be
July.
July 1 of
Of 2023.
3 to
Oh.
June 30th,
Oh.
24.
Do you remember
Good job.
this?
Well, only because I did last year, isn't it?
Ah.
It's funky with these.
Yeah, that's
I
right,
don't get
fiscal
it.
So
year
you're.
as opposed to calendar.
So this is completely inaccurate then.
Yeah.
It's one time that I did an 18-month report and we heard about it.
Oh my,
Oh,
well, we
that-
don't want to hear about
So-
something we're
Well,
trying to do right.
I am gonna find the exact date when I need to get this figured out, but
But I'm pretty
we,
sure. I'm right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are too, fiscal year.
because we did June, yeah, so we have I wrote, we've been building and improving internal systems, developing procedures. We hosted, 2 of those events,
The binders.
keeping the community aware and informed on national observances, that kind of thing. So I'll get these dates right and figure it all out. And I got a really nice list of that Mary had put together of like all these items when she passed off being chair. So I'll look back on that and figure it all out. But
Great.
anyway, that's where I am with that. And
Great.
I don't think we have to vote on that, do we? If I can just submit it, I'll just send it out to you guys and
Totally.
get it to Riley when she needs
Totally.
it. Okay, and then the last thing was
Yeah.
rescheduling our meeting for November.
Thank you, by the way, for doing this so
Absolutely no
we could do it
problem.
because,
Yeah, I know, it's like the craziest, October is like literally my craziest month, so.
Oof.
Our next meeting on November falls on Thanksgiving Day,
Yeah,
so
probably not.
I was thinking, ideally, it would be good to meet before the vigil so we can have kind of one more planning session in person. So I was thinking like Tuesday, November 12th or 19th. The 19th is the day before,
Maybe the 12th.
the 12th.
I could do that.
Do you
Okay.
feel like we would need to have that many details? I mean, I'm only thinking if we go to the 19th and then what's December? I mean, we won't meet in December because that's the
Right.
day after Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
That date too.
hmm?
You should move that date.
Yeah,
too.
for sure. So I'm just wondering if we met like the 19th, at least that puts us close to the end of the month, and then maybe we would end up meeting, I don't know, the 17th or the 19th of December, I mean. I don't know.
Open my calendar. 19th of December. Yeah, I'm good with 19th of November and December, although I know things can change. So I think let's wait on December.
Okay.
And maybe we can talk about that at the November meeting as people get their travel planning figured out.
Because the 12th is only 2 weeks from
Yeah,
tonight,
yeah.
given that we've already moved this back. So I'm just wondering.
I think
if
it
you-
will be mostly for survey update, the annual report, and I think we'll have a good amount of stuff done in 2 weeks on the vigil, I think.
So November is going to the 12th.
Do we want to do?
That's fine. I mean.
Are you
doesn't really
guys
matter.
free on the 12th or the 19th?
I can't do the 19th.
You can't do the 19th. Okay.
Oh, that answers that.
What do we do? 12th? Good for you, Griffin, maybe?
Yes.
And obviously, I don't know if you'll be an official member by then, so obviously your attendance isn't like 1,000% necessary, but it would be nice if you could.
It would be great.
I will try.
Yeah, let's do the
Alright.
12th, and I think we'll have plenty to discuss.
Okay.
I know. Just want to see you guys sooner.
We could do 2 meetings.
Just, yeah, why not have one every week? All right, let's write that down, and then we can discuss December then, if that works for people.
That probably would be a special meeting again.
Yes, it would. So I told Riley I would let her know about that. Look ahead calendar, November, Trans Day of Remembrance, we got that covered. December was World AIDS Day, December 1st, January MLK Day. Just putting that out there. I think focusing on November is where we're at right now, and then, if we meet in December, we can look at the new year.
Perfect.
Recap of plan,
Yeah.
if you wanna go for it, Britt.
All right, so we've got, I'll look into the survey platform and ask Tom too, if we would have access to something fancy through him. Karen's gonna look for candles.
Take care of the mic.
Yeah.
Like an amp.
MC. I'm gonna do a list of QR codes where people can donate. Emma's gonna reach out to Tom for the stipend. Karen's gonna talk to that student from Claremont.
Yep.
Were you gonna reach out to Queer Connections?
I can handle that, yes. Yes. You put me down. And Facebook events.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. You're gonna talk to Jeffrey about getting them on the agenda and finding the exact date for the town report.
Yep. And yeah, the organizing of speakers, I'll kind of keep working on that. And I am getting Karen the list of names so she can MC
Oh, yeah.
and do the vigil part. I'm sure you've posted many a vigil in your day.
But that does remind me, so we're kind of at other comments.
Yeah.
So,
Public, I think
Yeah.
we have to do public comments first and then our
Okay.
comments are next. So
Okay.
do we have any public comments at all? Nada? Okay, JEDI member comments?
so Old South is doing a vigil, in support of a peaceful election, I guess, maybe. I'm not exactly sure what the title would be. On the 2nd, which is already this Saturday. I have it in here at 4:30. Does that seem right to you?
I think it's like 4:30 to 5.
Right, that's right. They're gonna do 4:30 to 5 on the front steps. And then folks are invited to stay for a soup supper and or maybe conversation about what might happen or won't happen on Tuesday of next week.
Anxiety.
So I thought that was kind of a cool thing when I saw that that was happening.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing, Karen. Any other JEDI member comments? I think we lost that. But I'll send her the recap.
That's okay.
All right, then with that, I think we can adjourn tonight. Cool. Thank you all.